victory and going to face Cloud9 tomorrow if they win this game. They've got to get through Echo Fox one more time to make that a reality.
Definitely not the series most people were expecting coming into this.
No.
All 3 of the playoff series that TSM has played went 5 games. Were very hotly contested, including the one against Echo Fox, which Echo Fox actually had leads in 4 of the 5 games, and yet here we are. TSM, a very quick and clean closeout in game number 1 once they got ahead. And game number 2 was just, I mean, it was brutal. They slaughtered them.
Yeah, this was, like I said at the end of game number 1, this is the same way that the series started in the quarterfinals. TSM won, but then it was the next 2 games, 2 and 3, that Echo Fox won in that quarterfinal match because TSM had some bad fights. Echo Fox were able to play their game, get those skirmishes, but game 2 was not an Echo Fox win this time around. That team just has not been able to find the magic that makes them work in this series. And one thing I do like seeing, Azale, one thing I will point out that I enjoy seeing here as the adaptation from Echo Fox, no Aatrox for Haunter. He has shown 2 games in a row now. You can't leave it up.
Yeah, you really can't. He has been so damn good on that pick. And honestly, I feel like if you're going to the red side again, you have got to do something a little bit different as far as the picks and bans. I don't think you can afford to just, you know, their last pick, if I recall correctly, in game 2 was actually the Sejuani as a 5th pick. You need some sort of a counter pick. You need to get some sort of lane advantages. It's going to be a blind rumble for Huni here, which is a very strong laner, but there are champions you can obviously pick knowing that it's coming out to really kind of mitigate any potential issues you could have there. And I just feel like if you're going to red side, in game 3, you're already down 2-0. You have to have counter picks prepared or it doesn't feel like it makes any sense.
And I specifically want to talk about that because we have seen red side counter pick not really be used this series for much. We've seen junglers get picked last. We've seen solo laners get picked first at a point where the blue side still has the opportunity to do those counter picks. And it does forego the advantage of what red side gives you. And this super early Rumble pick is pretty surprising to me for Echo Fox. They'll grab the Ashe as well to deal with the Varus that TSM has once again picked for themselves. TSM decide to go for the tank in the top lane to deal with the Rumble. They'll have Horn for themselves, and Greg will be back on the Gragas.
And it's not as though Echo Fox was really like high, it's not as though Rumble is a contested pick. You have to early pick it, right? So there's picking this blind just means that they wanted to hide some other pick. They wanted to do a different pick order. But then Braum seems about as standard as you can get. So it's a little bit surprising to see that they even didn't just reverse that pick order to perhaps see if TSM would actually grab a solo laner in this first round. And then you can have kind of that third pick, a counter pick on the red side. Traditionally, why people say it is strong is you get in the first, the last pick of the first round, you get a counter pick there, and then you get the last pick of the second round as well. So you can kind of counter pick 2 lanes. But either way, it is going to be Rumble into Ornn, so certainly Huni should have pressure in that matchup.
Absolutely.
And we'll see if he's going to be able to actually convert that into anything.
At the same time, though, remember, one of the ways teams have got Huni before is you punish that over-aggression. Put him in a spot where he feels like he should be slamming the lane, wait for him to get ready to slam the lane, and then immediately turn that on its head with a lot of attention coming up from the jungler, the mid laner, anybody else. We'll see if that's the TSM game plan here, as Irelia will be banned away by Echo Fox. Once again, keeping that one away from Bjergsen. Remember, the last time these 2 teams played against each other, that was the one champ that he got 2 out of 3 of the TSM wins on. They don't want to have to repeat that here today. Xin Zhao banned out by TSM.
Vel'Koz as well, so a lot of respect being given over to that pick. We can see, as you said, a lot of aggressive junglers being banned away, right? If you look at TSM bans, the Olaf was already banned away by Echo Fox, and then you have Kindred, you have Graves, you have Xin. 3 of the aggressive picks, they're saying, all right, well, Dardoch's going to carry if they're going to win, so we're just going to take away all of those picks. And as far as what you were talking about with Huni being able to be picked on by a jungler, Gragas is a great one to do it. Gragas has very explosive ganks, especially with the Predator, and certainly in combination with Ornn has the potential to knock you down. Now this is interesting because you are expecting it to be Camille jungle.
Yeah.
There is potential for a flex pick. Rumble jungle is a thing, you know, certainly not played very much in competitive play, but in solo queue you do see some Rumble jungle, you do see some very rare mid lane Rumble, so maybe Echo Fox is really trying to confuse them and mix it up, but certainly expecting it to be Rumble top, Camille jungle, and then a counter pick on mid lane here for Damonte.
Well, we will see TSM once again utilizing the same bottom lane. They've got the same, 3 out of 4 of the picks are the same from game number 2. I mean, if it's not broke, why fix it? We saw so many good saves from Mithy, keeping that AD carry alive, and it looks like we might see a pretty big difference this time around. Instead of that massive just damage source in the Vel'Koz, they're going for even more of a front line here with the Galio, and that will be locked in.
Yeah, and I think this makes sense. When you look at the composition in isolation, you're like, well, it's pretty low damage. It's a lot of onus on Sven to actually be able to make this work. But then when you're looking at how well they can actually protect Sven and how much pressure there's going to be on Echo Fox to be the ones engaging with Camille ultimate, Rumble ultimate, Ashe, like they're trying to engage into you, and then there's going to be a Tahm Kench behind that Varus and a Galio ulting in. You know, the Gragas as well as that Ornn for Peel too. So certainly very powerful 5v5 team fight when it is actually set up. That being said, Echo Fox could look to kind of spread the map, look to try to find picks in those side lanes with Ashe arrows, with Camille engages, and it is going to be Zilean to round things out. This is something that we have seen played with Camille fairly often. Certainly does really enable those aggressive picks quite well.
I mean, Camille is one of those junglers that needs to build aggressively. Again, it's sort of like the Xin Zhao builds that you normally see with Warrior into either Sterax or Trinity Force. Like, you're not going to build a pure tank Camille because why the hell are you picking Camille if you're building pure tank on her? So when you've got to go in squishy like that, having the Zilean behind you, it just feels so much better. You can go in that much harder. And right now, it's do or die for Echo Fox. You have to reverse sweep, like you said earlier. You got to go 3-0 in these next 3 or your season ends here.
And honestly, with this composition, I feel like Echo Fox has to be able to dominate early game. They have to be able to really push the advantages that they kind of have drafted for in lane, look for aggressive plays with the Camille early on, try to find picks, try to get Huni snowballing. Because if you don't get going, if you fall behind or play even, there's such a tremendous amount of protection for Sven that he is very likely going to be able to find time to free fire in these team fights.
And that free firing Varus could be the epitaph for Echo Fox. One more game and TSM moves on to the final round of the gauntlet tomorrow. But hope isn't dead until that 3rd point goes over to TSM. Echo Fox will have to leave it all on the Rift here. They've got the tools to do quite a lot if they get that early lead that you mentioned, but at the same time, if they fall behind, I mean, look at your team composition. Your tank is your support, so he's not going to have the full economy of a top lane tank or a jungle tank. At the same time, you have a jungler that is highly volatile and dependent on early success.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think that this is really the kind of composition that Echo Fox has most succeeded with, right? You know, this is full damage comp. This is where they have really found a lot of success in the past, so I do like that they are going to this. Give Huni the chance to really kind of try to take over on a carry, put Dardoch on a carry, see what these guys can get done. That top jungle duo really is where they have gotten a lot of their wins over the last year, and I like that they have the confidence to go back to it.
When in doubt, you've got to just follow your heart, play what's found the wins before, play what you know.
Okay.
And Echo Fox knows how to get scrappy early on in the game. They'll lay down the ward at the enemy red and hang around.
Yeah, I think they're trying to go for this level 1 start on the red. That fake back, I'm not sure if they thought maybe there would be vision closer to the red buff and that they would be kind of tricking TSM into thinking that they weren't going to start there. Either way, TSM just has some river wards, and Mithy will spot this out, so we may see Greg try to go for vertical jungling. I'm going to be very interested to see if Dardoch tries to go red to red, because that is an option. Then if Greg tries to take away your red and you meet him there and push him off that, then you have the potential to 3-buff or get very, very far ahead. And
Grig's not even going to try it. Just goes to his own wolf camp instead. Not concerned.
I think that's fine. You really don't want to run into that Camille, especially when she has a red buff and you do not. That is going to be very, very scary. And it is what Dardoch is doing anyway. He's running straight to that red. So had Grig gone there, it likely would have been very, very bad for him.
Plus, then that can just serve to set everybody else in your team behind. If Bjergsen and Haunter have to abandon lanes to come get you out of trouble, then you set everybody else in a bad spot. He'd just rather avoid it. I respect that.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of just minimizing loss. You're saying, all right, well, I get a little bit behind now, but that's okay because the pressure is on him to really make something happen in the early stages anyway. And he very likely could actually get the bottom side scuttle anyway because they have wards on Camille doing the top side scuttle. So we'll see if Gragas wants to try to go for that. He's just kind of power clearing right now, going to be able to take away his Krugs as his bottom lane is pushing up. That may mean he goes next into the river and tries to grab that scuttle.
On this bottom side of the map, we talked at the beginning of the day, and we even heard from Echo Fox how Lost is one of those guys they were looking at to potentially be the secret weapon to carry these games and make these wins happen. And so far, he wasn't able to perform on the Varus in game number 1. And then the Kaisa game, the second time around, didn't go well either.
No.
So both on these picks, that one of which is an incredibly powerful laner, the other of which forgoes the laning experience a little bit to scale and just become this monster. Neither style has worked out for Echo Fox. We'll see how well they do with the Ashe this time around. Having that initiation capability you're talking about to really just start fights off and have that many more tools, maybe that's what you need when you're a team that's always looking to fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of back more to how it was when they had their old bot lane. When you think of Altec and Adrian, a lot of times they were kind of put on these more utility-based marksmen, things that can engage, things that are okay from behind. It's kind of back more to that style, which does lead you to believe Echo Fox want to play around topside. And this is good from Greg. He goes back, he gets his Predator boots on Hunter's Potion, and just going to be able to take away some camps from Echo Fox. He knows that Dardoch on the Camille it's not really a camp that you can do very well on those chickens. You don't have any AoE, pre-Tiamat. It can be very slow to clear and also very costly as far as health. So Greg did lose both the scuttles. He does get 3 buffs, but he steals away the Raptors and will be able to kind of keep his farm relatively high. Yeah, the gold comparison between them, I mean, you saw it on your screen just a moment ago. There it is again. 40 gold behind for losing both scuttles and getting 3 buff is fantastic. And that just shows the power of a lot of these AoE camps. The Krugs are worth so much gold, and the fact that Grig got both Raptors and did his own Krugs, well, Camille has not, means he has a lot of extra gold, and now he's going to be out there on the map potentially looking for Demonte. Here they go! Bjergsen goes in, he's able to find plenty of CC! There it is, a Zale flash body slam, that nightmare in the jungle you were talking about. Yeah, that was very well done. Demonte so squishy in these early levels, and Bjergsen channels up that Shield of Duran, hits the taunt, the body slam flash to follow it on the bot side. Big fight breaking out here. Full on 2v2 while mid lane, it's Dardoch behind enemy lines looking to force the fight onto Grig. Goes back for the smite, keeping himself healthy with that one, and TSM don't want to take the fight any further. Too low mana on Bjergsen. Yeah, Bjergsen can't really offer too much. So it is a good move, a risky one for Dardoch, but he is able to make it work at least a little bit here, and Bjergsen likely going to clear up this wave and then probably just go back home and be able to buy up. They're trying to pressure Grig, which I do really like. This is good. You need to continue to keep pressure on this Gragas, and while they did have a very early start that was strong, the first blood going over to Grig means he's now ahead, and here it is one more time. Taunt getting channeled up here. Flash right onto Demonte, in goes Grig, body slam, flash to follow it up. He waits for the Predator to complete the channel there as well for the bonus damage. So that was very clean setup from Bjergsen, and good execution, honestly, from Grig. And Demonte never had a chance to flash away during any of that. It was taunt into knockup, into secondary Gragas knockup, and by the time his feet hit the ground, he was dead. Yeah, that was really, really well done. And yeah, Grig already clearing a second set of Krugs. You can see that Dardoch has not been able to actually get his first either, so this is going to mean, in addition to that first blood, with the help he got on the bottom side, he's going to be getting fairly quick out towards that Runic Echoes and working for that AP first item. We'll be interested to see where exactly he goes for the second item. Junglers do tend to differ a fair bit there. Some go straight into tank with Night's Vow and that sort of stuff. Some go AP tanky with Zonias and those sorts of items. So there definitely are some different options. And I feel like when you're this tank heavy, it's more okay to kind of err more on the side of heavy AP. Well, one thing you've got to be happy about if you're Echo Fox here in game number 3, compared to the last time around, the lanes are going so much better. You've got the edge for Huni in the top side that you were expecting to have. Mid lane is even, bottom lane is even. Jungle, you've got the edge. And now Echo Fox are deciding, hey, it's time to threaten onto this red buff again. Don't let him have anything. Make sure you can steal this one away. And Dardoch with a nice uppercut kick there. Make sure that he gets it as Echo Fox gets everybody out. Yeah, TSM's bottom lane was starting to kind of win that 2v2 skirmish, so if that went on much longer, they may have been able to make the collapse. Instead, though, Dardoch does get it, so keeping that pressure on, trying to maintain that jungle control, and Dardoch really wants to look for something.
Hanser finds a decent amount of damage there on Sahuni with a quick trade from the Ornn. But again, this matchup is not one that'll be a ton of fun. But the Ornn horn goes off, Equalizer comes down, knockup goes through, Hanser flashes forward, getting the airborne into the chilling smite, and Griggs sends him home with a black and white screen. 2 for 0 overall in this game now.
Yeah, really nicely done there. Another Predator gank, another kill for Greg and Hanser. With the setup, Tony tried to drop the Equalizer early here to actually try to force the potential to get a kill, but his flash does not avoid the Ornn ultimate, and that is that critical point. It means there's enough time for Greg to close that gap, hit the body slam, and 2-0 start here for Greg. Has been having a very good series for himself.
Very good series, very good performance again on the same champion that I had to give him so much praise for in game number 2. Making the ganks happen, getting both solo lanes a little bit of an edge when things could have gone worse for them, especially there in the top side. I mean, mid lane was going even for a while. It essentially was just a stalemate, and Greg made that happen. And then top side, Huni's just bullying him around, as you would expect Rumble to do. Now that's been equalized a little bit more, and we know how the tank versus carry matchup goes. If the tank can get ahead enough to just get the armor items he needs, defense is going to scale better early on than damage will, and then you just become a big meatball.
Yep, exactly. I mean, great. Huni went back, he got his Sork boots, which are going to be effective against members without any magic resist, but there's already a lot of magic resist here as Hanser is building towards that very early on. So that's going to more than kind of nullify all of that damage with the Negatron cloak there coming through.
Very good pickup for him, making sure he's strong in this lane and he doesn't just get bullied out like that so easily. TSM up about 1,000 gold compared to Echo Fox. You can see Dardoch hanging around the bottom side of the map here. Scuttle Crab not doing much just yet, still waiting to respawn. It is a ward placed down by TSM in the bottom part of the river and throughout the top side of the river. Again, this vision game that you talked about earlier that TSM has been playing this entire time has been impressive.
It really has. I mean, Dardoch has been stifled fairly heavily by a lot of these wards. They always have good tracking on him. You can see another TSM ward spotting him out on this, and I think TSM may want to try to do something about it. But no, I guess they're kind of hesitating.
They're making us guess. They're making us think about it. They want to go in. Bjergsen can come in here now too. Does have the heroic entrance. Dardoch looking to start the fight off. Tries to go in. Galio ulti comes through. Onto the front line goes Smoothie. He's going to be in some trouble. Finn grabbing the kill onto the enemy jungler. Make it 2. A double kill for the AD carry from TSM. Thanks for the leash, boys. And we'll take the dragon from here.
Oh my God. Such a big fight there for TSM in this final potential game here, up 2-0 already. Now 4-0 in the kills. They get the dragon, and the worst part, insult to injury, both the kills went on the Varus, the big carry from TSM.
When you've got a comp with one dude meant to deal all the damage, and that one dude gets an influx of gold early on, that is a bad sign. These Echo Fox players have got to make sure they're not putting themselves in bad situations like that. Those scrappy fights that play out like this. Oh, one more look. Here we go.
Yeah, this is just honestly played very well by TSM. They don't commit to going forward. As Dardoch comes in, they disengage. Bjergsen arrives. Sven had a great flash forward to actually get the first initial kill, and then once Galio is in there and the first kill is down, there's no chance really for Echo Fox to turn that one around.
I mean, it looked like Echo Fox took that fight with the idea of Dardoch's low. He's just going to suicide in to start things off, but it's not a real suicide play because instead he's going to be saved by Damonte, who couldn't rotate in time.
Yeah, without Zillion there, without Huni there, no solo laners, and you know, Ashe isn't going to add a tremendous amount of damage this early on. Dardoch is sitting on a Tiamat, which is nice, but also not a tremendous amount of damage at this point in the game. You know, you can see he's on that where Greg already has his full jungle item done. You know, first items are coming through for a lot of the TSM members. Rod of Ages in the mid lane, Blade of the Rune King in the bottom lane. And those advantages really are starting to build themselves. We'll see if TSM can snowball this game out like game number 2, where they look incredibly good. But for now, Echo Fox is definitely not out of it just yet. They are within reach.
It's still a much better situation for Echo Fox than Game 2. Game 2 was 3K at 10 minutes. This is 2K at 12 minutes. still not great, but not this situation where you're like, damn, what is happening just yet?
Yeah, I mean, do you remember that game where we lost worse than any other game ever? Well, it's not as bad as that
It's not as bad as that one, and every cloud has a silver lining, as Dale, and right now the silver lining for Echo Fox could just be the man on your screen right now. Huni on this Rumble. Mid-game team fighting potential off the charts. He's got his jungler here on the top side as well, but Haunter is playing safe.
Yeah, he is playing quite respectful, knowing that Grig is down on the bottom side. He's trying to stay pretty far back, and I don't think we're really going to see him going in for trading. As long as he actually keeps his charge alive and doesn't actually use that to go forward, he should be safe from the gank, and TSM just straight up will take the turret. Dardoch has to back off as it's too much time invested there. Sven going to get solo turret gold after getting those 2 kills on the bottom side, and he is going to be really strong. You can see already about 1,600 gold ahead of his counterpart.
And I really like the game sense there from Haunter. So often we applaud top laners. Dude, he's marching down a side lane killing minions because he's a split pusher. Look at this Fiora, oh my god. Or, holy cow, it's 6-eyed Moiner and he didn't die when a dude shot him. But to be aware of the situation in the game and to recognize there's no reason to take this risk, especially in a game that's as important as this one where you could go to that next round of the gauntlet with just a win here. I like the fact that he immediately recognized the danger and made sure he stayed the hell away.
Yeah, and those are the little things that honestly make such a big difference, but are hard to sometimes appreciate. It's like, you know, crediting someone for not dying all these times. Also, an even harder to really appreciate thing is setting up the wave in a way so that it's not pushing hard away from you. It is kind of somewhat stabilized in the middle so that you are not forced to go forward and then expose yourself, right? So not only is it the foresight to think, okay, jungle could be up here, it's all the prep he did to keep the wave where it was.
Now Echo Fox are trying to go in, stop TSM from taking the Rift Herald, but their jungler's in some trouble. Dardoch issues the Hextech ultimatum. Going to be revived by Zilean if he goes down, but they're going to allow it to time out, except they go a little bit too early. Dardoch will come back alive. Rift Herald's still going to be DPS by Sven, taking a big bite out of Honey Fruit as well. Mithy having to back away, bomb strapped to him. Echo Fox has finally found their advantage here in the fight. Dardoch's going to be stopped up for now. Bjergsen looking to provide the cover for his support as he launches the Galio ultimate. Instead going to be interrupted, taken down. Echo Fox goes 1 for 0.
Echo Fox finally getting something working their way, and they're going to be able to push up mid lane here. Should be a turret for them as well. The Rift Herald did go to TSM though. Grig was able to grab that, so not a total loss for TSM, but certainly a very good play here for Echo Fox, and important to get some confidence back.
That is what I'm talking about. That is what I want to see. This team found their way to get online. They found their mid-game fight. They found where they could force. They utilized DeMonte's ulti properly, and now they're getting not 1, but 2 turrets as the prize. That feels damn good.
Yeah, that's a big moment for Echo Fox, certainly. TSM will be able to trade back on the top side and did get the rift, but it was a really good collapse on the split up members that did kind of show themselves from TSM. Bjergsen and Mithy got collapsed on there. The rest of the squad was not able to really rejoin with them, so Echo Fox, a new lease on life, and we will see how they look as they're likely going to head back to base pretty soon and spend up a lot this gold.
Mid lane goes Sven and Mithy, utilizing the Abyssal Voyage to make sure they get some extra firing time onto this tier 1 turret. We'll see how low they can take it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. So many Echo Fox members are around the dragon. I'm not sure if they had a missed timer on when they thought it was coming up or something, but like there was 5 members down there. Either way, here it is one more time. TSM was on the Rift Herald. Echo Fox know they cannot just sit back and give everything up, so they move over. The initiation here from Bjergsen only catches Dardoch, and the Zilean ultimate is there to save him, and then watch his ultimate coming across from Huni as he drops an equalizer, and Mithy's kind of just camping out at it. He basically sits in the equalizer for the full duration there, getting himself very low, and then as the team splits up, Grig goes back to the Rift Herald, and Echo Fox says, all right, we can just kill the other 2. So Dardoch flashing in over onto Mithy, the team collapses, the rest of TSM cannot really get back to the squad, and they do eliminate a kill.
Again, well played by the side of Echo Fox, but let's remember that TSM did manage to find themselves the Rift Herald in that fight, and now the use of that Rift Herald has got them a turret here in mid lane, and it might just get them 2.
Huni is roaming down, but he doesn't have TP, so they will back off, respecting that potential collapse from Huni, knowing that he could be coming, and they do spot him now, so we'll see. Oh.
Arrow misses. Nice field goal. Unfortunately, it's not worth 3 points in this game. Sven's going to be taken down to about half HP. Grig trying to get himself away. Also going to be taken very low. Goes into stasis, trying to stay alive. The Ornhorn's not quite going to do the job. Sven's looking to get himself away. Huni's going to burn him down anyway. Shut down goes over to Echo Fox. as Huni grabs the AD carry. But what can TSM find? The bomb almost kills Grig as Bjergsen delivers it into the rest of his team. But Echo Fox, for the second time in a row now, Azale, have won the fight.
Yeah, and Huni getting that isolated kill there onto Sven, sectioning him off, getting him down was very, very big. And they will have to push here in mid lane, but no towers really available for them to grab. So it's TSM down to the bot side, trying to get this pushing. Echo Fox will steal away the jungle on the top side of the map, and they do get another kill for themselves, closing that gap ever so slightly in this game. Echo Fox really showing signs of life here.
They're making things happen. They're winning fights. This is the Echo Fox that fans wanted to see coming into this series. This is the Echo Fox that took TSM to 5 games last time. And this is the Echo Fox that needs to make sure they're the ones that stay on that stage till the end of this series today. Let's take another look.
Here it is one more time. A really nice sidestep on the initial arrow, but then Huni actually finds a great equalizer. Really like how he layered that away, knowing that Grig would want to run down towards the bottom side of the map. And then look at Sven. He actually has to flash over the wall, and then Huni spots him here as he was trying to go in for Dardoch, and Sven can't get the kill on Dardoch and just gets absolutely roasted there by Huni. And then when you try to go for that solo style of play, as the marksman in this team, there's really not enough damage left in the TSM composition to win a fight thereafter. So Sven certainly paying for his big play he tried to pull off and not able to do it.
2-1-0 on that Varus, still having a pretty good game there for himself. Across the board, 0-0-0 for Lost's Ashe, as he hasn't really found his opportunity to contribute to either one of the kills just yet. Does have Blade of the Ruin King, though, still scaling up. Not quite as much farm as his counterpart, as we'll see TSM go for Elemental Drake number 2. Huni's down here. Echo Fox doesn't want to give this away.
Yeah, it could be another fight. You can see that Damonte and Dardoch are rushing over here. We'll see if TSM can kill it before they do arrive, but I think we may get a fight afterwards as Huni's looking.
Oh, Spin's in some trouble. Mithy trying to gobble him up, keep him safe, use the Devour to get him out of there, but instead they're both going to be burned down now. Drake goes over to TSM. Bjergsen's able to find the taunt on multiple people. They're going to grab the kill onto Lost, as they might find even more. Dardoch does get taken down, goes into Resurrection. Damonte's low, bomb's not going to be finding anyone. It's a double kill over to Bjergsen, who absolutely saved that fight with a hell of an AoE.
Yeah, that was a huge taunt there, and now they're looking to chase down Huni here. He is sectioned off and will not be able to get the execute. They're going to try to give it to Sven. They want to get the kill on the
They're going to taunt him again.
Oh.
Okay, he actually dies for it this time, but I love the fact that he went back. The only thing he's missing is that classic Tom Kench spam.
Yeah. Either way, it's the flash that has to be blown there for Huni, and the shutdown goes to Sven. So watch this one more time. The ultimatum was actually so big. Mithy tries to flash him over the wall. The ultimatum from Dardoch then lands on the other side of the wall in the Dragon Pit, meaning it broke off of Sven and Mithy. It actually kind of like pushed them back over, which was a very weird interaction, but definitely helped TSM a lot. And then Bjergsen, as you said, coming in, landing the taunt, getting so much AoE down in that small corridor, meant that TSM was able to come out on top.
And that looked so scary for TSM there for a while, because when your AD carry and your support are both about to burn down to Huni, it's like you mentioned, the team relies on Sven for damage. As soon as he falls, you cut all losses and immediately retreat, because you no longer have the damage to win the fights. TSM pulled it off there. Echo Fox, again, still fighting back with as much as they can muster. They're down 3K. They're down a couple of Elemental Drakes now. But most importantly, they're still down 0-2 in this series. They've shown the ability to strike back so far. They've shown the ability to win these fights. You've got those magic penetration items on Huni that you were talking about. You've got Oblivion Orb, Sorcerer Shoes, the Andrews Torment. That mid-game team fight power is fully realized right now, and they've got to keep using it.
Yeah, they really do. And if they can find that perfect fight, I mean, these fights are really the slimmest of margins in either way. If you can find that perfect engage where everyone's getting roasted by the equalizer and all of these members are doing damage, Zillion Ultimate brings back up Dardoch as he goes down and these sorts of things, then all of a sudden Echo Fox can get a big team fight perhaps into a Baron and it could swing back in their direction. But TSM, it does get harder and harder to kill off their marksman, as Sven is going to have probably a locket coming through here from Mithy very soon. We may see a Knight's Vow purchased up by Grig and these sorts of things. As you get more and more protection on that Varus and you can't burst them down, well, then it becomes hard to win the fight.
Echo Fox will still have to be tasked with that very, very difficult one as Dardoch goes in, tries to find a little bit of damage down onto Grig. Hextech ultimatum going to be issued. Grig getting himself away for now, but long-range arrow finds its way onto Sven, who will be saved by Mithy. Cast comes out, Griggs making sure they can't go any further. Monster picking a fight with Huni off to the side. There comes your Abyssal Voyage, looking to turn this around onto Huni, but Sven has to be devoured just to be kept safe. Huni's still gonna be kept alive. Bjergsen comes in with a hero's entrance, looking to go deep onto that enemy top laner, and he finds him! Sven's got the arrow, baby, as Haunter still walks away.
What a snipe from Sven. Bjergsen looking to go back in, though.
Wants to find the taunt, can't quite get it, gonna be just out of range. Bjergsen going into stasis, looking to keep himself alive. Winds of War, they're blowing strong! And Smoothie's out of the picture as Haunter's taken very close to death. Dardoch grabs the 1v1 kill up against Grig. This fight is all over the place, and it's 2 dead on the side of Fox. 1 for TSM.
Such an explosive fight there, as it looked like Mithy, Sven, Haunter say, all right, we have the catch onto Huni. They do ultimate back in. This is the initial play as we saw a good setup here from Echo Fox. They get the arrow onto Sven, but Mithy gobbles him up, and then they think they have a kill potentially onto Huni. So Mithy is actually going to ult his marksman over on top of the Rumble, but Huni just dropped the equalizer, turns around, and is just slaughtering Sven there. Mithy trying to get him out. Sven has to flash over the wall as Bjergsen comes crashing in, and then look at this piercing arrow. Max Raid gets the snipe, and Bjergsen getting so much work done in this fight. The Winds of War, as you called out, getting this final kill here onto Smoothie after the flashes were blown. One more turn around, gets him right here as he goes into the stopwatch. That's a lot of damage coming out there from Bjergsen, and even able to just barely get out, avoiding those zillion bombs. But on the side, Dardoch does clean up Grig, and very messy, very hotly contested fight there.
I love the fact that you mentioned how close all the fights are going to be earlier, because the remaining 4 members of TSM, all under 25% HP.
And that's where it comes down to mechanics in a team fight. Execution in those small moments. You know, imagine it's one more volley hit by an Ashe at a key moment. One more zillion bomb lands instead of misses. These little things really can completely change that fight from TSM slinks away with 4 low HP members to everyone gets ace and then you got the
Fox
Baron.
ace,
Yep.
Baron afterwards. Game 4, let's go. But that's not what happened. And Echo Fox now looking to make yet another play. Dardoch wants to go in, issue the Hextech ultimatum, finds it onto Grig. That's their target. Stun's coming down onto both Sven and Mithy. Mithy looking to carry that 80 carry away to safety. Does it for now. Dardoch still looking to find even more. Smoothie looking to follow up, provide chase as well. Sven's now going to be in trouble. Already lost his support, not able to bring anybody with him just yet. Smoothie throws down the winner's bite. Sven's gonna go into stasis, keeping himself alive just for a moment longer. Burn down, shut down, 3-0, Echo Fox.
Huge fight there for Echo Fox. Finally, they get the one that goes all in their direction. The solo laners from TSM were not there to back up that fight, and now they're heading over to the Baron, perhaps. Some split calls look like they're heading to the Baron. Now Ping's going over on the Infernal Dragon. They don't feel they have enough time to grab the Baron, so they want the guaranteed objective, and I tend to think this is the better call for now, especially when you have 4 damage members who are going to get a lot out of the Infernal. Everyone except Smoothie really going to be getting a big bonus from this.
Echo Fox is not willing to go down without a fight, but now it's 2 versus 5, except Mithy has brought Grig into the fight here now as well. TSM looking to steal away the Drake. They've got it for themselves. Haunter's still going to be tanking it up from the front line. Mithy gets over the wall, brings Grig with him. Hero's entrance going to be coming down. Dardoch goes into that stasis, almost going to be resurrected, gets himself away instead. Ornhorn blown off. Haunter looking to find the counterattack. Blocked up by the
Sven's almost here.
Goes through. Lost is in some trouble, and again, the winds will blow him down.
They can go to Baron now off of that. They got so many low HP bars on Echo Fox. They got the Infernal. Dardoch's going to have to go back to base, but it looks like he may have been doing a red buff or doing some sort of jungle camp over there. Did grab the red buff, but if TSM goes straight onto the Baron, it looks like they will. Bjergsen's going to TP right back from base. Dardoch is running, but he is pretty far away. Huni coming in.
Huni has to try to stop this. He's got so much big AoE on this Rumble. Drops the equalizer, getting himself away now with the flash. Name of the game is Stall the Baron. Who cares about the fight? And they have accomplished that here for Echo Fox. But TSM's strike at that Drake was massive.
Yeah, it really was. The ultimate from Tahm Kench coming in so huge. Mithy has been incredible on this pick. Bringing in Grig, they do get the Infernal Dragon here over on the side. Well, you see the solo laners for TSM fighting up. Monster with some great healing. And then Bjergsen goes back in with the ultimate to buy him time. And it has been TSM's team fighting, their coordination, keeping each other alive, and very low health bars. And then back onto Lost. Sven is arriving. It's full retreat for Echo Fox, but they do at the very least stave off the Baron attempt afterwards.
TSM 45,000 to Echo Fox's 43,000 gold. Still such a close game between these two. Mithy's ultimate, I didn't even see it go off at the start of that play. I thought that was desperation to stop an Infernal Drake, and then all of a sudden you double the TSM members, and it's a whole different fight. Echo Fox is still in a spot where they can take control of this game. They're still in a spot, as they have demonstrated, Azael, where their team fighting prowess, where that scrappy style can come out on top. But TSM has been doing a very good job of answering that here so far.
They really have, and I still think, especially because the defensive items haven't come through to actually protect Sven. So he's still very vulnerable. We've seen, if Huni gets on top of him for a second, he can go down and then
dies.
I'm honestly surprised to see Mithy go for Zeke's instead of a Locket. I don't feel that you need extra offense when Sven is going to be able to kill someone very quickly if he's not instantly dead. So a Locket against Rumble seems like that may have been the better choice, and you have Brig as well. Going for a Stone Blade instead of something like a Knight's Vow to protect him. These are, you know, kind of more offensive items, I guess you would say, or less about supportive style for your AD carry. And to their credit, I mean, if he is free firing, the Zeke's is going to add a lot of damage. He's going to instantly kill them. But it feels like the only way TSM loses is if Zen dies right off the bat. So I would have preferred some different itemization.
Either way, items are coming along across the board. You've got fully stacked Rod of Ages, plus Luden's Echo, plus completed Zhonya's Hourglass for Bjergsen. He's a big old boy on that Gargoyle. You've got 2 crit items, plus your Blade of the Ruined King there for Sven. Nice utilization of the charge, the Justice Punch, buffering it through the stun to essentially negate the CC.
Yep, you can only be interrupted on the backswing there, so once you're going forward, you're going to keep going forward until you run into a champion, so that stun does not stop him up, and really nicely done there by Bjergsen. Lost has not really been able to find the key ultimates. He has been hitting some of those arrows, but between the fact that there's Tahm Kench and 4 frontliners, it's pretty tough to find that effective Ashel.
And honestly, when it was Echo Fox having 2 kills earlier and Lost had not found any kill participation yet, I was like, okay, you'll have that. That happens. That's a totally legitimate situation. But for your team to have 7 kills and for your AD carry to still be 0-2 and 0, Lost is really not finding much opportunity to contribute to this much in any form.
He's not, and you can see how far ahead Sven is. Sven is a full IE plus a null magic mantle over this guy. And the buys right now are insane. Huni gets knocked in.
That is a huge pick from Brig, making sure they take down that enemy top laner. Dardog looking to flash away. Okay, I'm not sure. We're going to ignore that part.
He wants that one back.
We're going to ignore that part. The pick onto Huni was really big. And TSM is going to continue pushing down mid lane.
Yeah, and the ultimate was good from Monster to actually force out that flash from Dardog. So again, you could go back to the Baron if you want. We'll see what the call is going to be. They have a tremendous amount of damage available. Maybe happy to continue playing this slowly, though, as we are likely going to see more of those defensive items come through. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Hex Drinker coming in here for Sven to just survive a lot of the magic damage. You can essentially have Mithy acting as your QSS. I don't really feel that you need that for the Enchanted Crystal Arrow when you have 4 frontliners plus a Tahm Kench.
Either way, that is the guy you got to pick right there in Huni. You can see the Fiendish Codex and the stopwatch in inventory right now, but considering he doesn't have a Zhonya's fully completed, that means he'll always be vulnerable to big catches like that.
Certainly will be, and honestly, even if you're segmented that much away from the team, even if you pop the stopwatch, oftentimes it's not worthwhile because you're just delaying the inevitable, and if your team can't fight without you regardless, then you just lose that cooldown. So going down without popping it may have been the right choice. Either way.
Gragas is like a Skarner in that aspect, where it's not just the fact that he's CC'd, it's the fact that he's displaced. He can't be rescued. It's impossible to put yourself in that position as Infernal Drake number 2 spawns here in 10 seconds. The last Elemental Drake of the game. TSM gets this one. Elder becomes a massive win condition. Dardog loses about a third of his health right there. Huni's nearly going to be killed. The stopwatch will keep him alive, but is it going to be enough? More damage coming through. Horn goes off. Smoothie's going to be tanking it up. Ulti just in time from Zillion to save the top lane, but not the support. Dardock's gonna be dropping next. It's 4 dead for Fox. TSM says the hell with the Drake. Let's go to Baron.
Yeah, they're gonna go straight for Baron here. No jungler alive, no chance really for Damonte to get anything done. Clean 4 for 0. Huni and Dardock were just pretty far ahead of the team there without Varus ultimate landing on Huni. Sure, he had the stopwatch, but he already lost so much of his health. The team was in tatters, and the fact that the Braum shield had to be used before the Ornn ultimate was critical there. So TSM, they grab full control of the game, up 2-0, Baron buff. And this may be the straw that broke the camel's back. So here it is one more time. Look at Sven over the wall. Nails the Varus ultimate onto Huni, and now he's so low that Smoothie has to come in, drop the Braum ultimate, try to protect him. Braum ultimate is going to expire, though, as the Ornn ulti comes through. It's multiple members in the back line as they get taunted up, as they get body slammed, and there's no Zillion ultimate to protect them because that was already used onto Huni. So beautiful team fighting there from TSM, and such a good catch from Sven.
This is easily the best game that Echo Fox has played so far today, but it feels like the tragic tale of too little, too late. The first 2 games were so heavily favored towards TSM that once Echo Fox has finally found their footing, now once they start to lose it, it's going to be a very slippery slope. Now you're staring down the barrel of a team that's 4 Drakes, 5K, and 1 Baron buff up.
Yep, exactly. Knight's Vow is done on Grig now, so that's going to be on Sven. There's going to be the Hex Drinker on Sven. He's close to a Maw, so he gets harder and harder and harder to actually burst down and solo pressure, as Huni has been able to do in a lot of these team fights. And if you can't do that, well, you can't win the fight.
Can't win the fight, you can't go to game 4, you can't go to game 4. You're not getting out of the gauntlet. Echo Fox trying to keep themselves alive here. They throw down the equalizer. Grig's going to lose about half HP. Sven's healing up now as well.
They'll just go straight to mid lane, though. They already have minions, and now how do Echo Fox fight without that equalizer? We'll see as they're going to look for the engage.
Another Abyssal Voyage used to make the rotations here for TSM. Or Ulti comes through, looking to find the kill onto Dardock. Takes him very low. Stasis comes out. He will be resurrected. Damonte trying to hang out nearby, keep these guys alive, having to retreat now with the rest of his team. Echo Fox loses inhib turret number 1. Inhib number 1 will follow, and TSM decides to bring it back.
Yeah, they're going to send Haunter over to the top side to clear that out. Minions are already pushing up in the bottom lane for TSM, but I think they will just back off, reset, spend up some of this gold. They have some big item completions coming through, and again, they are very confident in their position within this game, so they don't feel they need to really risk anything or push the pace. It's much more on Echo Fox to get that done.
And Echo Fox is now, the situation just becomes more and more dire. They have to defend a base now with 1 inhibitor already gone. That's free pressure constantly piling into your base. TSM still has tier 2s to knock down in the side lane, so that's more freestanding gold for them to just swing by and pick up. Echo Fox is going to need a miraculous fight. They're going to need one of these arrows to strike true from long.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough because even if he threads it through 4 frontliners and hits Sven, there's a Tom Kench behind you who has Cleanse. So really, it needs to be something where Mithy wastes his Devour, or Mithy is not with Sven, or...
Galio's across the map, don't forget about that.
Exactly. It's like there's so many things that have to go wrong for TSM. That I feel like it would have to be a lot of fights in a row that Echo Fox is able to have that are really, really strong fights to come back in this. You know, one fight at this point delays the game, but I don't think it really gets you back into control of it. So Echo Fox have got to play the game of their lives from here and then try to win 2 more, because TSM has their eyes set on C9, their eyes set on Worlds, and they are moving closer and closer to that goal.
The last time TSM had their eyes set on Echo Fox, it took them 5 games, and it was a war to find the win and move on in the playoffs. Today, they might just make the clean sweep happen, which would be a fantastic omen for this team going into that final against Cloud9. Like you mentioned, it was Cloud9 that fell to TSM last time in a 3-2 best-of-5 series. It's all coming down to what could be this as Huni flashes away from the second part of the Ornn ultimate. That summoner spell down could be very big, though. Every single resource will matter in these upcoming fights.
Yep, and that Ornn ultimate solo cooldown this late in the game. He's sitting on 40% CDR. He has the level 3 ultimate. You can see how quickly it's actually ticking down. You know, it's already about a third of that cooldown has ticked through for Haunter, and the flash is such a long cooldown to actually spend there. So certainly a nice little play for TSM. And as Cloud9 watching this series, they barely scraped by TSM last time around, and certainly this is looking like a much improved TSM. This is looking like a very fierce opponent for them. And they had such a strong second half of the split that for either of these organizations to not go to Worlds would be such a big disappointment.
And for both of these organizations to be the one that crushes the dreams of the other one while punching their own ticket, that's the kind of stuff movies are made of, man. This could be one of the most exciting gauntlet finales we have ever seen, but TSM still has to finish this game off to get to that point. They're 8,000 gold up, they're 8 kills up, they're 4 Drakes up. Any possible metric you want to measure this game by, TSM is ahead. And they've still got 2 lanes left to take care of. You can see Bjergsen is in the top side doing some split push magic. So one of those conditions that we talked about where Bjergsen can't be in range of the hero's entrance is being fulfilled. But now it's no longer true. Cast backwards onto Dardoch, immediately popping that Zillion ultimate. Dardoch getting himself now into the front lines, trying to stay alive, trying to do something. Guardian Angel is going to be active. It's Bjergsen into the back line, able to find a taunt. Lost is already gone. And Dardoch will try to find some damage, but it's not going to be enough. Bjergsen still keeping Echofox separated. He slams right back down to the rest of his team. They slam Huni out of there, and they've got themselves a 5 versus 3 for the next 50 seconds.
And they have the minions on the top side here. TSM continuing the march towards victory here, looking for the sweep, and Dardoch may go down as well.
Dardoch tries to get out. He's still got the real Guardian Angel. He'll stay alive for now, but the inhibitor top side will not sing the same song. TSM sitting in the base, ready to go for the win. Echofox has to make their stand here. Damonte uses the ulti early on Dardoch. They will not get any value out of that. Dardoch falls anyway. Guardian Angel going to be procced on that one. Smoothie and Damonte looking to make the final stand. They will not stand any longer. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a clean sweep, and TSM will go to the gauntlet finale tomorrow.
TSM just dominating Echofox here today, 3-0, looking so much better than we have seen them in a very long time. Their 4th playoff series, the first 3 all going 5 games, and this one today, complete dominance, 3-0. They will face C9 tomorrow, as you said, and that is going to be an incredible match.
They say practice makes perfect. And when you have more practice than everyone else, you can get that much closer to perfecting your craft. And for a team that we and that fans and that in general everyone was critical of throughout the season for the fact that they were not performing to the level that expectations were set at, this is a team that seems to have finally found themselves, to finally have found a way to play and win consistently.
Definitely have, and it's a tough loss for Echofox. Smoothie on screen there. Made it to Worlds last time around, had some magic getting to the quarterfinals, but won't be able to make the trip this year. And Huni, in the World Finals last year, will not make the trip as well.
Honestly, this gauntlet, Echofox, Cloud9, TSM, all teams with big names, all teams with big stories, all teams with big aspirations to get to Worlds. And the fact that only 1 out of 3 can go is pretty crazy. It's just, for TSM, it's still alive. For Cloud9, it's still alive as well, but again, there can only be one.
And the pressure is going to be so enormous for these guys. I mean, the finals obviously meant a tremendous amount to Cloud9, but I would say that, this series now feels even more important to them. This is their last chance to get to Worlds, their last chance, having that redemption for themselves. And likewise for TSM, having a rocky year, back-to-back splits, not making the finals for the first time ever, they can still get to Worlds. They can make people forget about that with some strong performances.
Well, TSM definitely had a strong performance today, and for more on their dominant victory, let's hand it over to Avli for an interview with the TSM mid laner.
Thanks, guys. Bjergsen, the last time that you guys took on Echofox, the game was incredibly close, but today you stomped them. So is this just a demonstration of how far you guys have come?
I think it's definitely a demonstration of kind of being able to pull it together in the early game and actually get some leads, because I think our early games haven't been that bad in scrims, but just on stage, we were never getting the first turrets. We were always kind of bleeding slowly or making early mistakes, or just the enemy team making the first play on us. But I feel like today that was us making that first play and getting a lead and just snowballing off of that.
Well, you played well today, but we both know that today's win means nothing unless you also take tomorrow. So how are you going to face final boss Cloud9?
Well, we have a lot of information on them. We played against them. Obviously didn't work out that time. We watched them play in the finals, and I think TL had them pretty figured out and knew how to beat them. And yeah, I think we're just going to go in with that and try to do the same.
And usually whenever we see TSM versus Cloud9, the hype is really built up around you and Jensen. But the last time you faced him, it was Golden Glue who started popping off a bit. So how do you prepare for both of those Cloud9 mid laners?
I think now that they've both seen some stage time, their champion pools and how they play is pretty obvious, or at least I have a better idea. I wasn't quite ready for how Golden Glue was going to play or what he was going to play. So the Swole Bros definitely surprised us in the series with the Malzahar Graves that they pulled out twice, but we're going to be much more ready for that second time around.
And you had great performance today and a clean sweep. So what can TSM fans expect from you guys tomorrow?
I don't want to say expect a clean sweep. That's always the goal or the dream, that we can make it to Worlds 6-0ing the gauntlet. So that's what I'm going to try my best to do.
Well, Bjergsen, thank you and congratulations again. And for more on the game, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Avli. It took them 5 games last time, but this time around, only 3 for TSM to take down Echo Fox and push themselves to the Gauntlet Finals tomorrow against Cloud9. And following that Game 1, the dominance in Game 2, and then, you know, the discussion around what recovery would look like for Echo Fox, we said to go back to comfort. And I think when we take a look at this draft, at least what jumps out to me is the Rumble pick in the top lane, the Camille for Dardoch, and the fact that they did index power towards 2 of their strongest players.
Yeah, I think Rumble was a pick for me that I kept saying I wanted to see out of teams that had strong topside players, and I thought that made sense to Camille as well. And it's not a surprise that this was a very close game. They were down 3K gold at one point, like winning fights, just because it was a comp that seemed to match their play style.
Right, I thought this draft was a lot more fitting of their style than the previous ones. I like the Rumble. I didn't love the early pick Rumble, though, because what you saw that they did is they just picked a full tank team. Once you get champs that can build adaptive helm, Rumble becomes a lot less useful. He's very good at melting squishies in a mobile champ, so picking it into Varus was good, but TSM recognized that and was able to fill out the rest of their comp with champs that are pretty good against Rumble.
Yeah, as the game played out, of course, we saw a lot of action throughout that, early to mid game, of course, trying to take advantage of the early pen on the Rumble, but Bjergsen on this Galio was putting out like damage numbers on a Galio of all things.
Bjergsen played great the whole series. I think TSM outplayed Echo Fox this series. This was actually a pretty disappointing series for me because I thought Echo Fox played very poorly in Game 2 and half of Game 1. This game is more of what I expected from the series because this was pretty competitive with Echo Fox trying to pull out a lot of plays.
This was one of the most insane Galio.
Yeah, fights like this are on such slim margins. I think DeMonte lands a few more bombs in these fights. Echo Fox might even win the game because there were really slim margins in a lot of these outplay scenarios.
Yeah, I do think it was impressive to see them kind of start finding these pickoffs and start turning things around. There was a moment in time where it did feel like Fox had come back to the point where they might be getting Barons or at least an Infernal Drake pretty soon, but TSM kind of...
It was this play in particular where Fox looked to maybe this is the turning point in the game if they
I
can
saw
pick
a
up
ping
this
at
kill.
Baron right after that fight, by the way. I saw Echo Fox ping Baron.
Yeah, but this is the follow-up fight where they don't get the Infernal Drake. They try and chase really hard, but they keep getting kited out by different members, trading the tanks off very well. And that's what's nice when you have multiple tanks, is that someone can stay in there till 200 HP like Haunter, and then someone else can walk forward and start getting some aggro.
Really extended fights, though. Yeah. Like a really scrappy game, and I think to Jad's point, like that's what I would have expected more of from a TSM Echo Fox series.
Right, I think that this game, Echo Fox did recover a little bit in the mental department from whatever tilt they were feeling before, but it did seem like they brought back a little bit of their aggression, but I just feel like...
Sponsor play? Oh, they cut it off.
What,
that was the best
E
part of the
wall?
Yeah, the flash.
I'm surprised
E
they didn't get a
into the
replay of
turret.
that somewhere.
made sure to kill the turret even more.
Right.
But I felt like Echo Fox did play fairly aggressively. It just wasn't calculated at all. They were picking fights that they had no business fighting, like just forcing losing fights. So definitely not a great series from them.
No, and at this
TSM.
point,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, at this point you can see just like when you fall behind and your damage can't keep up with the tankiness curve, like those fights just look so unwinnable because everyone is at half HP after you blow all your cooldowns.
And I think while it may have been a disappointing series on the side of Echo Fox for TSM to snag that 3-0 on top of what was, kind of improvement throughout the playoffs, gives them a lot of momentum looking towards Cloud9 tomorrow.
Absolutely. To think that we've been through this whole year of TSM failures based on their expectations of not making finals both times in a row, barely clutching out the third place match. Now, if they beat C9 tomorrow, they're at Worlds.
Boom.
And then they can succeed at Worlds and it could actually all be forgotten is really
TSM
strange.
World Skins?
I figured it out.
You planning already?
The problem is they get to Worlds and they only play in the group stage. But now, if they go in the third seed, they get to go in the play-ins and get some more warm-up experience at Worlds, and then they can perform well.
That reminds me of MSI, where they got that 5-game warm-up series against Gigabyte Marines.
Yeah.
They totally
They did really well
lost
then.
a tiebreaker
They did
game
really well.
and didn't make it out.
Okay, that theory's kabod.
Right, yeah.
What are you doing,
All right.
Mark? Why do we have to bring up that stuff?
Don't make
They
it
got
up.
a
You didn't
best of
Need to.
five.
I'm trying to get people.
We don't talk about NA
on.
Worlds except when it's happening.
Right.
Okay.
And I
We
like
forget
that. I
about
like
it
this
very
plan.
quickly afterwards.
I need you on the desk more often, Meteos. Let's talk about player of the series. This time around, it goes to Bjergsen in the mid lane. In the 3-0, many members on TSM looked good. But this guy, just that, teensy bit above the rest.
3-0 stompings like this are always difficult to assign a player of the series. Mithy played great. Greg had one of his better series. Hanser had 2 great
God's
Aatrox
man's
games.
gross.
Ben was good in the back line. But I just felt like Bjergsen was making that extra play that was better than the average, right? Better than what was expected.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I do think everyone on TSM played pretty well. And for me, I was really close to saying Greg because he played phenomenally this series. But Bjergsen definitely overperforming. Even though he was against Demonte, which I kind of expected to be TSM favored, it did seem like he was able to handle not only Demonte, but all the pressure they threw at him. Like, returning kills when he would get dove or just dodging out ganks that he could have died to. So on top of just some amazing team fights on Vel'Koz Galio, where he was just able to pretty much win the fight through just his own abilities and skills. So well played there.
Bjergsen ever the top performer and turning it on at just the right moment here in the later stages of the season. With their victory today, TSM moved up on the bracket, presented by Jersey Mike Subs. Their 3-0 victory over Echo Fox have seeded them into the regional qualifier finals versus Cloud9, where the winner will be North America's 3rd seed at World. And in the context of that series tomorrow, Meteos, I want to return to Greg as a player and talk about the challenge that he faces tomorrow. I mean, Dardoch, very strong jungler, very aggressive jungler. But tomorrow, he's up against the squad that has willingly changed and swapped out their junglers.
It's going to be a 1v2.
It's a 1v2. How does he handle that? How does his series today and his playoff run in whole give you confidence about how he might perform against Cloud9 tomorrow?
I think the series tomorrow will be really close just because both of these teams have shown so much growth over the split, and they're both looking in extremely good form. Minus Cloud9's finals against Liquid, where they kind of flopped. Sometimes those can remotivate you and help you get things together. The last time that these two teams played, it was very close. So I expect hopefully more than the 3-game series. But
I mean, if you're here on the desk again, I don't know. That's
we have
the
to
3-0 seem to follow you.
yeah, I got to get out of here. But yeah, it's really hard to say. I think both teams have a very versatile play style and can play a lot of different roles in different areas.
Yeah, and this is the gauntlet final that is the most exciting, right? TSM has made Worlds every single year since Season 1, the only organization to do so. C9 has made Worlds every year of their existence and won every regional qualifier they've been a part of. So we got some history to be made tomorrow when one of these teams doesn't go to Worlds. So
there's a
really
lot
exciting.
at stake, and I think that's what kind of feeds into this idea that I've got a lot of my eyes focused on the younger players, not the veterans, right? We even saw today what adversity or how adversity can be dealt with by some of the veterans. Bjergsen, Mithy, Sven, even Hanser in the top lane, being able to, endure that pause, come back into the game and play a measured, composed series. I'm curious to see with that history on the line, with the final seed for NA, at stake at Worlds, how do Greg, Blabber, Zazel actually operate under that pressure?
I think it's been the case where as the games got a lot more important, it does feel like C9 younger guys have struggled to step up to the plate. Blabber getting subbed out multiple series in a row, and Licorice kind of feeling like he's stuck on tank duty right now when so much of his career has been defined by his carry play. I want to see if they'll stick to the style that we've seen thus far in the playoffs, or if they start branching out a little bit more.
Something I would like to see is I've kind of been getting on Sneaky about his picks. He's been pulling out some
You don't like the Quinn?
Twitch?
some Quinn and Twitch, and you know, I think he's a great player, good friend of mine, but
Pick something different.
let's pick some good champs, bro.
All right, well, there you have it, a small preview of tomorrow's matchup. Thank you very much, Meteos, for joining us once again. Now for myself, the casters, the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for more of the regional qualifiers. Good night.